It's funny how most people still believe that impressing a woman is a matter of bank balance, muscles, or an endless repertoire of bad jokes. Funny, isn't it? Because the real strength that holds a woman's attention has absolutely nothing to do with that. There's another game being played, and almost no one has told you about it. Is it really your looks that keep a woman interested? Or maybe it's the way you make her feel, even without saying a word? The answer is simple. Women react to stimuli that they themselves cannot explain rationally. And knowing this, what was difficult becomes something natural for those who don't insist on repeating the same obvious mistakes. While many people waste years trying to be something they are not, those who understand how their emotional impulses work come out ahead without making any effort. And we're not talking about cheap tricks here. We're talking about recognizing that, deep down, every woman seeks a rare feeling: emotional security. Not the security of paid bills, but the kind that conveys without words that you are unshakable. If you're enjoying this content so far, take advantage and say a big thank you. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips that can transform your way of seeing the world and life. And here's the detail that few have the courage to face. No woman wants to carry a man's emotional burden. If you're the guy who despairs at the first problem, who complains, who becomes emotionally needy, congratulations. You've not only lost respect, but also destroyed any possibility of a real connection. And worst of all, she won't even be able to explain why she lost interest. It's just going to happen. A man who understands this acts differently. He maintains his balance when the situation becomes chaotic. He doesn't need to shout or make a drama to be noticed. His strength lies in his firm silence, in the calm that deconstructs any storm. And at this point, you don't need to be handsome, rich, or funny. You've already become someone who inspires, who commands respect without forcing anything. Because in the end, life and relationships have always been about who can hold their own soul together while everything else falls apart. A man who understands the value of emotional stability not only earns respect, he becomes, without even realizing it, a true safe haven. And you know what? No woman can resist that. Not because she decides rationally, but because it's almost like an instinct. The attraction to someone who offers this solid foundation is automatic, inevitable. She feels it, even if she can't explain it. But then comes another layer of the game that almost no one understands. Women are also attracted to what seems out of reach. Curious, isn't it? Human beings in general value what they can't have. It's the harder it is, the more valuable trick. The same logic that turns diamonds and limited editions into objects of insane desire. And the hidden weakness there is quite simple. The easier you give in, the less interesting you become. Men who are always available, always responding quickly, always trying to please, end up playing against themselves. They may appreciate the attention, they may even find it cute, but genuine interest? That evaporates without warning. On the other hand, the guy who keeps his distance, who preserves his own space, awakens something much deeper: the impulse to conquer. It's not that they like to be ignored. That would be underestimating female intelligence. The issue is that her subconscious interprets your independence as a sign of value, of rarity, of something that is not available to just anyone. The secret here is brutally simple. Don't always be there. Don't become an extra in her story. Have your own projects, your own pace. Leave little clues about who you are, but never give away the whole map all at once. Each layer revealed needs to feel conquered, not handed over on a silver platter. The day a woman feels like she's figured you out completely is the same day that the shine starts to fade. Always keep part of yourself just a little out of reach. It's this distance that fuels the mystery, and consequently, the desire. And for those who think that everything can be solved by talking, a quick warning. The influence of a strong presence and a controlled voice is grossly underestimated. Studies, run in common sense, show that men with a deep tone and confident speech are seen as more dominant, confident, and guess what? Much more attractive. Not because they shout, but because they don't need to. This is not a random coincidence nor a modern trend. The deep voice that many men neglect is, in fact, an echo of ancient instincts engraved in our biology. A deeper frequency whispers silently that this man carries strength, authority, and leadership. Characteristics that, like it or not, continue to be absurdly attractive to women. But limiting this to the voice would be unfair. What really captures attention is the whole package. Presence. Even before you open your mouth, you are already communicating. How you move, how you occupy the space, how you react when the world tries to knock you off balance. All of this screams who you are, without a single word. The man who dominates the room walks as if he knows exactly where he is going, even if he is just going to the kitchen to get a glass of water. He does not contort himself, does not gesture as if he is trying to justify his existence. He looks you in the eyes, and it is not that desperate look asking for approval. It is a firm, almost disinterested look of someone who does not need to prove anything to anyone. The absence of presence, on the other hand, is as easy to notice as a sale advertisement. Slumped posture, lost gaze, trembling voice. Every little gesture whispers insecurity, even if the owner of the body swears he's cool. Want to capture attention without having to open his mouth? Work on your presence first, because when your energy is strong enough, even silence becomes a magnet. And speaking of silence, there's something few have the stomach to practice: knowing how to walk away. Believe me, few things activate a woman's emotional side as quickly as the fear of loss. When the typical man feels a woman slipping through his fingers, he gets desperate. He chases her, sends long texts, makes empty promises. The result? He becomes a walking reminder that she has absolute control over him. Now, the man who simply turns around and goes on his way, without drama, without emotional speeches, sets off another type of alarm. He conveys that he's not begging for presence, that his life continues with or without her. And nothing, absolutely nothing, is more attractive than someone who doesn't need validation to know their own worth. And this is where many people get lost. If she feels that you are capable of walking out the door without looking back, if you are disrespected or treated as an option, something changes in her mind. It is not cheap manipulation. It is pure self-respect. Women value men who value themselves. It is that simple. There is a rule that separates men who are desired from men who are forgotten. Always be ready to walk away. Those who know their own worth never chase crumbs, and those who chase crumbs end up getting used to living with what is left. Now, do you want to know what really dismantles women's defenses? A man with a mission, not a vague goal like getting rich one day, but a real purpose, a reason greater than anyone else. The kind of goal that shapes his routine, his choices, his energy. While most guys are there, texting all the time to check if everything is okay, the man who has a mission doesn't need all this theater. He is busy. He is building. And ironically, that's what makes him irresistible, because she sees that he doesn't need her to feel complete. The fatal mistake: making the woman his personal project. When she feels that she has become his sole focus, the charm dies. And there's no point in drama. They don't want to be your universe. They want to orbit a universe that is already huge in itself. So ask yourself, what are you spending your days on? What are you creating, achieving, building? Because if you don't know, you can be sure. They will notice, and they will disappear before you understand what happened. But it doesn't stop there. There is another level that few master: the paradox of controlled vulnerability. It's not being a walking well of tears, nor that big robot that seems incapable of feeling anything. It's balance. Women don't want a poor guy complaining about life, but they also don't want a soulless robot. They connect with someone who can be strong, but without closing himself off. A guy who exposes a bit of his humanity, but without ever losing his bearings. The big mistake is to think that being vulnerable means opening your heart like a teenage diary. Wrong. True vulnerability is admitting your flaws naturally, acknowledging your emotions without drowning in them, and most importantly, doing so without losing control of who you are. If this video is making sense to you, say thank you and subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss anything that's coming up. It's a subtle dance between showing that you feel and proving that, even when you feel, you're still firm in what you believe. So let's put the bare truth on the table. Opening your heart too much, too soon, is the perfect recipe for killing attraction. The story that women want super vulnerable and emotional men is one of the biggest modern lies. They even appreciate a glimpse of your humanity, but they don't want a walking drama warehouse spilling problems with every conversation. The game is different. Vulnerability is showing that you have scars, not open, bleeding wounds. It's knowing that you have emotions, but not letting them drag you into a storm of self-pity. Want to open up about something personal? Do it like someone sharing a victory, not like someone begging for comfort. You want to be the guy who slowly reveals layers, who lets out details like someone playing cards in an important match, and never the desperate guy who gives away the entire deck at once. Your emotions should be like the sea on a winter's day, strong, intense, but contained. They need to be there, visible, but not overpowering you. A man who understands this dynamic creates a rare kind of connection. A woman feels special because you chose to open up, but never feels like she needs to save you from yourself. And if you think that's all there is to it, get ready. Women will test you all the time. This isn't a manufacturing defect. It's a built-in survival protocol. Ever since the caveman era, they needed to know, can this guy handle it? These tests come disguised as small provocations, silly challenges, sudden disinterest. It's not gratuitous drama. It's a filter. They want to see if you're easily dismantled, if you change your mind to please, if you lose control when you're contradicted. Each test is a silent question. Are you really strong, or is it just a facade? Most men fail this basic test. They lose their temper, react badly, try to explain too much, beg for approval. The result? Respect and attraction evaporate like ice on asphalt. Want to know the secret? When you're tested, treat it with the same emotion you would treat a child trying to take a toy from your hand. A half smile, a firm look, and nothing more. Don't justify, don't debate, don't beg. A real man understands that strength isn't in winning every debate, it's in not having to prove anything to anyone. So write this down as a law. If she pokes you, provokes you, or plays hard to get, your mission is one, to remain absolutely unshakable. Pretend you're watching the weather forecast. Interesting, but nothing that will change your life. Smile, answer firmly without having to explain yourself, and most importantly, don't chase her. Let her realize for herself what she's lost. The guy who passes a woman's test becomes something rare, the man she knows she can't replace. And here's a harsh truth. Women only test those who really attract them. If she's playing these games, congratulations. You're a target of interest. Now, if you fail, well, you'll just be another one in the crowd. And speaking of fear, most men walk around trembling with terror at the thought of being rejected. They think a no is the end of the world. It's not. Rejection, my friend, only hurts those who think they have no options. For those who know their own worth, rejection is just a statistic, another no on the way to the next yes that really matters. When a guy smiles when rejected, makes a joke, and even wishes you good luck sincerely, he sends a silent message. I don't need your approval to know who I am. And that confidence? Oh, it screams so loudly that it echoes inside their heads. If she doesn't want you, great. Better to find out early than to waste time trying to prove your worth. Smile, wish her a good day, and go on your way like someone who doesn't have time for drama. The problem was never being rejected. The problem is being so attached to validation that you bend over backwards for crumbs. Free yourself from this fear, and ironically, you become the kind of man that women start chasing. And if you think they like everything ready-made, get ready. Women who figure you out too easily lose interest just as quickly. Their minds love a mystery. They have to ask themselves all the time, does he like me? Zrenialam, am I special to him? When you're an open book, you lose your charm. When you're enigmatic, you become a puzzle that she has to put together. And guess what? She loves racking her brains trying to figure it out. This doesn't mean playing games. It means maintaining an element of mystery and unpredictability, signs of a man who is too easy to read. He always responds immediately. He overexpresses his feelings too soon. He constantly seeks validation or reassurance. On the other hand, a high-value man creates attraction by not being an open book. He keeps a woman engaged by being selective in what he shares, responding at his own pace, not instantly, and maintaining an air of calm and unpredictability. Curiosity fuels desire. If she always knows what's coming next, the search is over. The man who can excite a woman's imagination is the one she can't stop thinking about. 10. A man who controls his desires controls everything. Women's greatest weakness? They can't resist a man who controls himself. Most men are controlled by their desires. They chase women, seek validation, and let lust dictate their actions. But the men who hold power are those who control their desires rather than being ruled by them. Women are weak to men who don't chase mindlessly, choose wisely, aren't desperate for intimacy, maintain standards, and have self-discipline. They don't let pleasure dictate their purpose. The moment you stop chasing women, they start chasing you. A man who can walk away, say no, and put his mission above his impulses is a man women will always want. Attraction isn't about tricks. It's about understanding psychology and mastering yourself. Women are drawn to men who embody strength, purpose, and self-respect. If you cultivate these qualities, women won't just want you, they'll need you. And before I finish, I want to give you a big thank you for watching this far. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your comment, because I really want to know what you think about all of this. See you in the next video. But the men who hold power are those who control their desires rather than being ruled by them. Women are weak to men who don't chase mindlessly, choose wisely, aren't desperate for intimacy, maintain standards, and have self-discipline. They don't let pleasure dictate their purpose. The moment you stop chasing women, they start chasing you. A man who can walk away, say no, and put his mission above his impulses is a man women will always want. Attraction isn't about tricks. It's about understanding psychology and mastering yourself. Women are drawn to men who embody strength, purpose, and self-respect. If you cultivate these qualities, women won't just want you, they'll need you. And before I finish, I want to give you a big thank you for watching this far. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your comment, because I really want to know what you think about all of this. See you in the next video.